Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain about pollinating agents. Okay. So in the before video we have revised about the pollination. Okay. So today I am going to explain about pollinating agents. So introduction to pollination, that is pollination is transfer of anthers from a stigma is pollination. And what are all the agents which is causing the pollination is called the pollinating agents. These pollinating agents are generally classified into two types, that is self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is autogamy and cross-pollination xenogamy or the allogamy. So if you taking this cross pollination, again it is divided into abiotic agencies and biotic agencies. Self pollination is the pollination which takes place in same flower or in the single flower is called the self pollination. It is also called as the autogamy. Cross pollination or the xenogamy or the allogamy meaning is the pollination which takes place in between the two flowers of different plant is called a different plant or the same plant. Okay, so that is cross pollination. So this cross pollination that is done by the self pollination is no need any agents. So it does not, again it is no need to classify again. But if you are taking the cross pollination, you need the agents called biotic agents. Okay, so this biotic agents again divided into abiotic agents and biotic agents. Abiotic agents means anemophily and hydrophily. Okay. In the anemophily meaning is wind. Okay. The wind is going to cause the pollination is called anemophily. And hydrophily means water is going to cause the pollination. So here the wind and water are abiotic agent. So that it is causing the pollination. So that it is abiotic agencies. Okay. So in the term anemophily means the pollination which is taken by wind. When the wind blows, the pollination will be takes place. And water is when the water flows. So to that time the pollination takes place is called hydrophily. These are all the abiotic agents. First we'll see about the abiotic agents. Next we'll move on to the biotic agents. Okay. This is your textbook diagram only. Next I am coming to the anemophily. What is anemophily? Pollination by wind is called the anemophily. The flowers or the plant, this plant or this flowers is called anemophilous flowers or anemophilous plants. Why it is called anemophilous flowers and plant? Because these, if you see these flowers which is get pollinated only by the wind, so that it is called anemophilous or the anemophilous plants or the flowers. Where it is situated, you may ask the question. So it is situated in the wind exposed regions like mountains, hill stations. In that place you can appreciate this kind of the anemophilous plants and flowers. Okay. So during the wind only this pollination takes place, I told you. So in all the time the pollination effectively it is taking the or transferring the pollens from the anther to stigma means no. So sometimes it may get wasted. Why? Yes, it is not reaches their particular stigma. Okay, that's what I mentioned here in the fourth point, wasted during the transit. Sometimes it may wasted during the transit. Sometimes it is effectively reaches the right stigma by the pollens of the anther through this wind. Next, grasses, sugarcane, bamboo, coconut, palm, maize. These are all the examples of these anemophilous plants. Okay, and anemophilous plants having following characteristics. Okay, you have seen this picture, right? Can you able to see this picture? Yes, this is a flower. This red color figure is called flowers. Okay, so this is full of with group of minute flowers present in this hanging axis. What axis? Hanging axis. If you are taking the characteristics of the anemophilous flowers, it will be the pendulous catkin like or a spike inflorescence. Okay, so pendulous, catkin-like or spike inflorescence, meaning as if you are taking a pendulous means it is like you see here, this is a pendulous means that is group of flowers which is look like hanging in the nature. The group of flower which is hanging in the arrangement is called the pendulous, catkin-like or spike inflorescence. Inflorescence means you know that group of flowers in particular arrangement is called the spike inflorescence, or it is also called the pendulous catkin-like. Also called the pendulous or catkin-like and spike inflorescence. So this is a group of flowers which is arranged in one particular arrangement, that is called pendulous, catkin-like or spike inflorescence. Okay. So if you are taking the small flowers, the perianth is totally absent or highly reduced. That's what I mentioned here. And if you see this flower, it is inconspicuous and colorless and not centered and do not secrete the nectar. Yes. So if you see this flower which is get pollinated only by the wind, so it does not produce any scent, any smells, good fragrance, and it is not much good color, and it is inconspicuous means it is not well clear flower. Okay, it is not well clear flower and do not secrete the nectar. It does not produce the honey. Okay. Next, I am coming to the stamens are numerous. If you are taking this flower stamen, the flower is minute in size. In that flower, you will appreciate the stamens are numerous and filaments are very long and exerted and versatile. That means it is very fragile. If you are touching hardly, it will break. So that is called exerted and versatile meaning of the stamen, and it is numerous in the number. And that produces enormous quantities of the pollen grains compared to the ovule. So if you are taking the anemophilous flowers, produces only one ovule in the female flower. But if you are taking the male, that is produces enormous quantities of pollens is produced in the anther of stamen of the anemophilous flowers. Okay, what about the characteristics of pollens of the anemophilous flowers is minute, light and dry. So it is very minute in size and light in the color, light in the weight, and it is dry. Due to the light and dry, it can able to carry through along with the wind blows. Okay, when starting of the wind blows, it has to travel to a particular stigma. Okay, so that is decided by our nature and character of pollen. The pollen is minute, light and dry again. Okay, in some plants the anther bursts violently and releases the pollen into the air. So the meaning is some plants like Artica you can take, that will be easily, that flowers, the Artica flowers anther is burst violently and releases the lot of pollens. Okay. So if you are taking a stigma or comparatively large protruding, yes. So we just explained this stamen, anther, pollen, flower, all inflorescence. But what about the stigma of these anemophilous flowers is the stigma are comparatively large. Here it is minute, here it is large. Here it is light and dry weight, and it is a protruding, sometimes branched or feathery and adapted to catch the pollen grains. Okay, for this I'll explain this diagram. If you are taking a maize, pollination and the maize, if you are taking a maize plant, in the botanical name is the maize of the maize. If you are taking the pollination in maize, this will show you clearly. So this is the male inflorescence and this is the female inflorescence. The female inflorescence separately I show here. So look here, it is showing that this is a female. This is silky in nature. Suppose the wind blows, so all the male inflorescence consisting of the anther, consisting the pollens will be vertically which is lower down to the lower down on the silky nature of the female inflorescence. So here the female inflorescence's name is called cup and male inflorescence name is called tassel. So if you are seeing the female flower, which is silky or feathery or the branchy in the appearance, in such case in our maize plants will shows the silky nature of the female inflorescence. Its name is cup. Okay, once the wind is blows, it started releases and it is directly down on the silky nature. So this is silky nature easily catch up the pollens. It will easily catch up the pollens will be takes place. So the pollination is easy here. So next is fertilization is takes place. Likewise, you can see in the stigma comparatively large and protruding. Yes, you see here it is a large when compared to the male inflorescence, and it is then a hanging or the protruding. So it is a large and protruding. Anyway, it is coming through the wind, so it can able to easily catch up because it is silky or feathery in nature. So that is the pollen is very light and minute in the size, so it is easily catch it up. Okay. Next, so without the hindrance of leaves, what is the meaning is? If you see here, these flowers are all, if you see in this picture, so if you see this here, it is presenting, this anther is presenting above the leaves, not in the between the leaves or the below the leaf. It is always presenting above the leaves. Because of this arrangement only allows the pollens to liberate from the anther easily without the hindrance of the leaves. If the leaf is presenting above, below the anther or the stamen, it will disturb the distribution of pollen during the release of pollen from the anther. So this is without the hindrance of the leaves. This has to be released freely. So that's what it is, avoiding the hindrance of leaves by presenting on the top of the or the terminal part of the stem of the plant. Okay. So now your anemophily is over. Next I am coming to the hydrophily. This pollination by water is called a hydrophily. Hydrophilous meaning is Vallisneria hydrilla. So these are all. I already explained you. Pollination by air or the wind is called anemophily. Likewise, pollination by water is called hydrophily. Example, hydrophilous plants or the hydrophilous flowers are Vallisneria and hydrophily. In water plants like Ichania and water lily pollination. So many water plants is there, but not all is pollinated by the water. Many water plants will be pollinated by insects and winds. The wind also plays a major role in the water plants. Also the insects plays a major role in the water plants. In water plants like Ichania and water lily also pollination takes place through the wind or by the insects. These two is places, not by the water. And this is also presenting inside the water, and it is aquatic plant only. But the plant which is get pollinated by the water in the water plants is Vallisneria and hydrilla. If you are taking a hydrophily, there are two types is there, that is epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. Epihydrophily meaning is, that is in epihydrophily meaning is the pollination occurs at the water level. So the pollination takes place in the water level. If you are taking hypohydrophily, the pollination occurs inside the water. So I had mentioned here, hypohydrophily means pollination occurs inside the water is called the hypohydrophily. If you are taking the water level, that is epihydrophily. Okay, so this is the two types of the hydrophily. Example of the epihydrophily is Vallisneria spiralis and Elodea. And this thing is Zoostra marina and the Ceratophyllum. Its name is Zoostra marina and Ceratophyllum are the example of hypohydrophily. And epihydrophily meaning is Vallisneria spiralis and Elodea. Okay, and if you are taking the hydrophilous flowers pollen grains possess the mucilage covering which protects them from wetting. Yes, so the pollen grain should be less weighted. Okay, so less weighted means it should not always wet with the water. So it is covered with the mucilage covering. What is called mucilage covering means in Tamil என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க அப்படின்னா வள வள வளன்னு இருக்கும். அதோட anther of the anther the pollen grain of the hydrophilous plants பார்த்தீங்கன்னாவே வள வளன்னு இருக்கும். கையில் தொட்டவே கொல கொலன்னு இருக்கும். ஸோ அப்படி இருந்தாலும் it is not wet by the water. So that it can easily travel in the water to cause the pollination. Okay. Next, if you see this is a diagram of Vallisneria spiralis. Vallisneria spiralis la pathina there are two flowers. This is a male flower, this is a female flower. Okay, yes, இது வந்து male flower and female flower. In the male flower பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா this is a staminate flowers, that is stamens. இதோட stamenல இருந்து என்ன இருக்கு, anther irukku, anther la pollen போகுது. Okay, pollen is going, right? Next is, this is female flower. If you are taking a female flower, this is an highly coiled stack with the flower is female flower, that is a pistillate flower. This pistillate flowers, once it is during the time of pollination, its stack is the highly coiled stack is it's expands and it releases the female flowers at the level of water surface. Okay, and here the stamen of the pollens will be always floating in the water level. So this pollen is coming close to the female flower and causes the pollination. Once the pollination is over, the stack or coiling stack or the expanding stack of the female flower, again it is coiled and it is bring back to the same stage in the initially. Okay, in the last. Okay, and then it forming the and it is doing the fertilization and it is producing the fruit formation. Okay, once it produces the stamens, produces anther from the anther and stamen, from the stamen of the anther releases the male flowers. It is coming to the water level. So from there the female flower, which is this coil stack, is expanding and releases the female flower at the water level, and this this male flower coming closer to the female flowers, and it is causes the pollination. After the pollination, again this connecting this stalk is again it is coiled and it is bring back to the normal stage in the under the water, so that here the fertilization and fruit formation takes place. So this is about hydrophily and anophily. So still that we have discussed about the abiotic agents. I am coming to the biotic agents. If you see the biotic agents, there is the biotic means living things that is going to be a agent of the causing pollination. So that what are all the biotic agents? That is beetle, moths, bees, butterflies, snails, birds, bats and ants. So these are all the animals and as well as the insects which is going to causes the pollination, so that it is called biotic agencies. Okay, so Cathronphily, Phalonophily, Melitophily, Psychophily, Malcophily, Arintophily, Cheirotraphily, Myrmecophily. Okay, Cheirotraphily. Okay, we'll see one by one detailing. So this is again agencies of the same thing. Insects causing entomophily, birds causing arintophily, bats causing cheirotraphily, snails causing malcophily, ants causing myrmecophily, snakes causing ophiophily. Okay, so zoophily. So zoophily refers means pollination through the animals is called zoophily. Animals, they are telling here the bats, the snails, these and all they are calling as the animals. The insect, the pollination through the insects is called entomophily. The flowers which is get pollinated by the zoophily is called zoophilous flowers. Okay, animals that bring the pollination made by the birds, bats, snails, insects, these are all brought the this thing. So even though the birds, bats, snails causing a pollination, the most popular pollination in the biotic agents is insect pollination. So the insect pollination is well adapted to bring the pollination. Okay, and larger animals like primates, lemur, arboreal rodents, its name is lemur, arboreal rodents, reptiles and gecko, lizard and garden lizard. So these are all the primates that causing the larger animals. You may ask me the question, what is a primates? Primates means it's having the it is having face will be looked like a fox. Okay, so nari mari mogam இருக்கிறது animals என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க அப்படின்னா காமனா primates அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Okay, have also been reported as the, so these animals also has been reported as the pollinators. So if you are seeing the arintophily, the bird which is causing the pollination is called arintophily. That is the, what is the bird variety which is causing the pollination? That is Erythrina, Bombax, Syzygium, Bignonia, Strelitzia, etc. And along with this, you could have heard hummingbirds, sunbirds, honey eaters. These are all the birds that visit the flower and bring out the pollination. So main species Ornithophily, the pollination which is the flowers which is getting pollination by the birds is called Ornithophilus. The birds which is causing pollination is called Ornithophily. The species name of the birds is Erythrina, Bombox syzygium, Bignonia, Strelitzia, etc. And hummingbird, sunbird, honey eaters, all those things. Flowers of the Ornithophilus is usually large in the size and they are tubular. You see this flower, it is tubular and it is cup shaped or it is unshaped. Unshaped means somewhat U shape is called unshaped. Okay, so if it is a tube, if it is a cup size, if it is or in the unshaped, that the part of the pollination, that the nose part of the the bird will be easily the part which is easily can enter the air, make their face enter into the flowers easily if it is a tube like. Okay, so depending upon the flower and arrangement of the bird face is the pollination takes place. Okay, so on the flowers I told you it is large and should be a tubular and cup shaped, and color which is attracting the birds is mainly red, scarlet, pink, orange, blue, yellow. These are all the color of the flowers that is usually attracting the birds to causing the pollination. And these flowers does not produce any scent or the nectar. Okay, and the flower parts, you see floral parts like calyx, corolla, all those things will be tough and leather to withstand the powerful impact of the visitors. Yes, the bird is coming and sitting on the flower, so it has the capacity to carry that. So that powerful impact is getting by this floral part. It is very tough and leather in nature. Okay, this is yes, this is Ornithophily, flowers and pollination. Okay, next I am coming to the Cheiropterophily. Cheiropterophily means the pollination which is caused by the bats. This diagram beautifully explains that how the pollination takes place in the flower by the bats. So the bats, which is plants which is get pollinated by the this bats is called Cheiropterophilous plants. Example, that is Kiglia africana, Adansonia digita. Okay, so Kiglia africana, Adansonia digitata. Okay, so these are all the just species of the plants or the Cheiropterophilous plants that is causing the pollination, getting pollination by the bats or the Cheiropterophily. Yes, it's a Kiglia africana, Adansonia digitata. So if you are seeing the Malcophily means the Malcophily pollination by slugs and snails is called Malcophily. Okay, you know that what is snail, but is what it is slugs means nothing but that is slug means you could have seen some leech என்ன சொல்றது, இந்த ரத்தம் உறிஞ்சுற பூச்சி சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, அதெல்லாம் என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க, ரத்தம் உறிஞ்சுற பூச்சி, இந்த அட்டை இதெல்லாம் பார்த்த அப்படின்னா மரவட்டை இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தோன்னா நல்லா ஒட்டி போயிட்டு இருக்கும் ஃப்ளோரில். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் அதுவுமே இந்த ஸ்னெயில் வெரைட்டியில் வரதுனால ஸோ இட் இஸ் கால்ட் ஸ்லக்ஸ் அண்ட் ஸ்னெயில்ஸ் இஸ் காசிங் அ Malcophily. ஸோ விச் ஃபேமிலி ஆஃப் த பிளான்ஸ் இஸ் காசிங் Malcophily இஸ் Araceae. Okay, its name it should be pronounced like Araceae, are pollinated by snails. You know that snail will be in the water and also it will be in the land. So the water snails is crawling among the lamna water weed, pollinating them. Okay, lamna is one variety of the water plant, that is one weed variety of the water plant. What is weed variety? It does not, it is just like தமிழில் சொல்றதுன்னா நமக்கு எப்படி நிலத்துலலாம் புல் இருக்குது, அரையம்புல் இந்த மாதிரி தேவையில்லாத புல் இருக்கும், எக்ஸ்ட்ரா இருக்குது, அதெல்லாம் நமக்கு தேவையில்லை, யூஸ் இல்லை, அந்த பிளான்ட்டால் நமக்கு எந்த யூஸும் இல்லைன்னா அதை வீட்ஸு சொல்லுவோம். ஓகே, அது மாதிரி தண்ணியிலையும் யூஸ் இல்லாமல் சில பிளான்ஸ் இருக்கும், அதுதான் வாட்டர் வீட். ஸோ இன் தேட் வாட்டர் வீட் நேம் இஸ், அதில் ஒரு வெரைட்டி தான் lamna. அந்த lamna இஸ் causing the getting pollinated by snails is by crawling them and it is causes the pollination. So this diagram also explain you what is a malcophily. Okay. Next I am coming to the entomophily is very important. You may get the 3-mark question from this. Okay. And this is very important part also. What is the entomophily? That is entomo meaning as insects. Okay. Insects which is going and causing the pollination is called entomophily. In that entomophily, insects means so many insects is there. You know that housefly, bees, beetles, moths, and so many varieties is there. And causing pollination is called myrmecophily. What is that? Myrmecophily. Apart from this ant, there is on the bees, moths, butterflies, flies, wasps, and beetles. So many insects is there to causes the entomophily. Bees are the main flowers visitors and dominating the pollinators. In insects, bees are the most common and major visitor to causing the domination in the pollinators. Majority of angiosperms are adapted to for the insect pollination. The most of the flowers get pollinated by the insects only. Okay, and aggregated in the dense inflorescence in the Asteraceae family. If you are taking a Asteraceae family flowers or aggravate dense inflorescence, in that aggravate dense inflorescence flower will get pollinated by the mostly bees. Okay, and the flowers are which is get pollinated by these insects is called entomophilous flowers. Okay, so flowers are bright in the color, and it is adjacent part of the flower may also be bright color to attract the bougainvillea. The bract become a colored. Bougainvillea, you know that paper flower you could have seen in here and there in and around your homes. That bougainvillea flowers of the adjacent part means its calyx part is somewhat attracted to the pollinators. Okay, and it is scented and produces the nectar. Somewhat it gives some fragrance as well as the nectar formation in case of this thing. Okay, and pollinated by flies and beetles produces foul odor to our pollinators. So flies and beetles will give the some foul odor. Foul odor means it's not a good smell. Okay, so that's not a good smell, but that is also attracted by pollinators. So that is also attracted by the pollinators. In some flowers, juicy cells are present which are pierced and condensed sucked by the insects. Yes, some flowers will produce some juicy like cells. That cells and the juice will be observed by piercing or sucked by the insects, which is pierced inside the flower and sucking or the absorbing this juice. Next, this is about your entomophilous. Myrmecophily means pollination by the ant, and also butterfly, flies, bats, beetles, and bees are most common in the angiosperm plants, and it is in the aggravated in the dense inflorescence. Okay, Asteraceae family, and it is brightly colored, scented, and produces the nectar. Some flies and beetle will produce foul odor to attract the pollinator. Some will produces the juicy cells, that is will be absorbed by insects which is pierced by their ant. Okay, next, pollination in saliva. This is your the 3-mark question again. This is definitely important question. Okay, salvia. So the pollination in salvia and the lever mechanism. Salvia is adapted for bee pollination. This is actually a bee that is which is entered into the bilabiate flower. What is called bilabiate flowers means this is a petals of the flowers which is showing like bilabiated. It will be like எப்படி சொல்றது, இது நல்லா bilabiateனா நம்ம lips எப்படி இருக்கு, when we are opening our mouth அது மாதிரி ரெண்டு lips open பண்ண மாதிரி இருக்கிறது தான் என்னது bilabiate flower. இந்த bilabiate flowerல ஒரு mechanism, ஒரு pollination நடக்குது. What is that அப்படின்னா அந்த ஃப்ளவரோட பேர் என்ன அப்படின்னா சல்வியா. ஓகே, ஸோ அந்த மெக்கானிசம்க்கு இன்னொரு பேர் என்ன அப்படின்னா லெவர் மெக்கானிசம். சல்வியா அடாப்டட் ஃபார் பீ பாலினேஷன். ஸோ வை மேம் இப்படி இருக்குது அப்படின்னு கேட்கலாம். ஸோ இந்த கேப்பில் ஒரு பீ வந்து உட்காந்து இதில் ஒரு pollination காஸ் பண்ணும். ஸோ அதனால இது என்னது அப்படின்னா salvia adapted for bee pollination. ஸோ இந்த flower is protandrous and corolla is bilabiate with 2 stamen. இதில் வந்து 2 stamen இருக்கு. It has 2 stamen and it is protoandrous. The androsium part of this flower get matured earlier than the stigma. Okay. A lever mechanism helps in the pollination. So each anther is upper fertile lobe and lower sterile lobe which is separated by long connective tissue. So these lobe, the stamen having the upper fertile lobe, lower sterile lobe which is separated by the connective tissue. Okay. When bee visits a flower, it sits on the lower lip which acts as the platform and it enters to suck the nectar. These kind of salvia flowers will produce the nectar. Okay, that nectar is ready to take by the bee. This bee is entered into the inside and middle part of the corolla. It started to enter. So by pushing their head into the corolla, head into the corolla, அதோட தலையை அது வந்து உள்ளே வைக்கிறப்போ என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா டியூரிங் த என்ட்ரி, அது தலை என்ட்ரி வைக்கிறப்போ அந்த ஸ்டாமனில் இருக்க போலன் என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா அது பாடியில் ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆகுது, என்ன ஆகுது, கொட்டுது. ஓகே, ஸோ ஸ்ட்ரைக்ஸ் அகெயின்ஸ்ட் த ஸ்டெரைல் எண்ட் ஆஃப் த கனெக்டிவ். ஸோ அதோட அந்த ஸ்டாமனுக்கு ஒரு ஸ்டெரைல் எண்ட் ஒன்று இருக்குது, அப்புறம் வந்து இன்னொன்று என்ன எண்ட் இருக்குது அப்படின்னா that is sterile end, இன்னொரு எண்டு வந்து fertile end இருக்குது. ஓகே, ஸோ அந்த எண்டில் போயிட்டு அது என்ன ஆகுது, ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆகுது. ஸோ திஸ் மேக்ஸ் த fertile part of the stamen to descend and strikes on the back of the bee. ஸோ மேலே இருக்க அந்த அப்பர் fertile இருக்குது, லோவர் ஸ்டெரைல் இருக்குது. ஸோ இந்த பூச்சி வந்து இதுக்குள்ளே போயிட்டு இப்படி உள்ள தலையை நல்லா விடுறப்போ இந்த லோவர் ஃபர்டைல் லோபில் இருக்கிறது என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோ டவுன் ஆகுது. என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா ஸ்டெரைல் எண்ட் ஆஃப் த கனெக்டிவ் டிஷ்யூ போய் ஸ்ட்ரைக் பண்ணுது, அந்த இடத்த போய் இது டச் பண்ணுது. பாடி டச் பண்ணும்போது அதுக்கு மேலே இருக்க அந்த ஸ்டெரைல் பார்ட்டோட போலன்ஸ், அந்த ஸ்டெரைல் பார்ட்டில் இருக்க ஆந்தரில் இருக்க போலன்ஸ் வந்து இது பாடியில் ஸ்ட்ரைக் அவுட் ஆகுது. ஓகே, ஸோ திருப்பி இது நெக்டார் எடுத்துட்டு this bee வெளியே வரும்போது என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா when the bees இன்னொரு visits another flower, the pollen get rubbed against the stigma and completes the act of pollination in the saliva. ஸோ இந்த ஃப்ளவர், இந்த பிளான்ட்டில் இந்த ஒரு ஃப்ளவரில் இது வந்து நெக்டார் குடிச்சிட்டு தேன் குடிச்சிட்டு இன்னொரு ஃப்ளவருக்கு விசிட் பண்ண போகிறப்போ இன்னொரு ஸ்டிக்மாவில் போயிட்டு, அதாவது என்ன விசிட் ஆனதப்போ அந்த போலன் கெட் ரப்டு ஓவர் அந்த இன்னொரு ஃப்ளவருக்கு போகும்போது, அதாவது இன்னொரு ஃப்ளவரில் ஸ்டிக்மா இருக்கும். ஸோ இது ரெண்டும் என்ன அப்படின்னா மேல் ஃப்ளவர்னு வச்சுக்கோ. இது ரெண்டும் ஃபீமேல் ஃப்ளவர். இந்த மேல் ஃப்ளவர்லேருந்து இந்த ஃபீமேல் ஃப்ளவரில் ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆகுது. உள்ளே போகும்போது அங்கே இருக்க தொங்கிட்டு இருக்க ஸ்டிக்மா மேலே என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா தட் இஸ் த போலன் கெட் ரப்டு ஓவர். ஸோ இந்த பாடியில் இருக்க போலன் வந்து ஸ்டிக்மாவில் வந்து ரப் ஆகுது. ஸோ தேர்பை த pollination of salvia is completed. ஓகே, சம் ஆஃப் த இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் pollination இது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஸோ இது பைலேபியேட்டடாக இருக்குது. ஸோ இது பைலேபியேட்டடாக இருக்கிறதோட இதோட பீ வந்து உள்ளே போகுது. மேல் ஃப்ளவரில் வில் பி பைலேபியேட்டாக இருக்குது. இட் இஸ் ஃபேவர் ஃபார் த பீ pollination. ஸோ இட் ஜஸ்ட் புஷிங் their head into the corolla tube. கொரோலா டியூப்குள்ளே என்ட்ரு பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா ஈஸியாக அழகாக உள்ளே என்ட்ரு ஆகும்போது இதில் லோவர் லோபில் இருக்க இந்த ஸ்டிரைல் என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா ஸ்லோ டவுன் ஆகி அந்த அப்பர் ஸ்டெரைலில் இருக்கிறது வந்து ஸ்ட்ரைக் பண்ணும்போது இந்த அப்பர் ஸ்டெரைலில் இருக்க ஆந்தரோட போலன் வந்து அது பாடியில் கொட்டுது. அது பாடியில் கொட்டுறப்ப when it is visiting the another flower, it is rubbed over their body, is rubbed over their stigma which is hanging down, so that the pollination is completed. Likewise, this kind of interesting mechanism is lever mechanism. So also some other interesting mechanism like a trap mechanism, pitfall mechanism, and translator mechanism, and piston mechanism. So many mechanism will be in the flowers. So next is advantages of the self pollination. So self pollination is almost certain in bisexual flowers. Yes, only the bisexual flowers. Okay, certain in the bisexual flowers. And if all chances of the cross pollination is fails, so if the chances of all the cross pollination is fails, there is an only chance will takes for the self pollination. and it is taking place and prevent the extinction of the species. What is called extinction of the species? Suppose there is an one flower is there, one rose variety is there. That rose variety should need a pollination, cross pollination. There is no chance of getting a cross pollination by the rose flowers. So what could be do? What it will do? It has to follow only the self pollination, so that it is avoiding the destruction of the species of the world. Okay, what species? That is a rose species. Likewise, the extinction species. Extinction means one particular species no more in the world. உலகத்திலே ஒரு ஸ்பீஷிஸ் இல்லாமல் போகுது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கான சுச்சுவேஷன் வரப்போ நம்ம செல்ஃப் பாலினேஷனை யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அது ஒரு அட்வான்டேஜ். ஓகே, பாலினேஷன் வந்து ஆல்மோஸ்ட் சர்டைன் இந்த பைசெக்ஷுவல். நிறைய இடத்துல வந்து நிறைய ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் வந்து பைசெக்ஷுவலாக இருக்கிறதுனால அது ஒரு அட்வான்டேஜ் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜ் ஆஃப் த செல்ஃப் பாலினேஷன். கண்டினியூவஸ் செல்ஃப் பாலினேஷன் ஜெனரேஷன் ஆஃப்டர் அ ஜென்ரேஷன் ரிசல்ட் இது வீக்கர் ப்ரோஜினி. கண்டினியூவஸ் இதோட டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜ் என்ன அப்படின்னா, செல்ஃப் பாலினேஷனை அதுக்குள்ளே பாலினேஷன் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கிறதுனால ஒரு ஜென்ரேஷன் டு ஒரு ஜென்ரேஷன் போக 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 அந்த ப்ரோஜனி எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படின்னா, தட் இஸ் ஆஃப் ஸ்ப்ரிங், அதோட பர்த். ப்ரோஜனி மீன்ஸ் அதோட பர்த் பேபி, அதாவது அதுக்கு அடுத்து வர அந்த டாட்டர் பிளான்ட் எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, இட்ஸ் பிகம் வெரி வீக். ஜென்ரேஷன் டு ஜென்ரேஷன் அதே ஜெனட்டிக் காம்போனண்ட்டோட வரும்போது இட் இஸ் வெரி வீக்கர் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. அண்ட் தேர் இஸ் அ நோ சான்ஸ் ஆஃப் ப்ரொடியூசிங் நோ ஸ்பீஷியஸ் வெரைட்டிஸ் ஆர் மேக்கர். ஓகே, ஸோ ஒரு புது வெரைட்டி ஆஃப் ஸ்பீஷியஸ், ஒரு ரெட் ரோஸ்னால் அது ஆல்வேஸ் ரெட் ரோஸ் தான் செல்ஃப் பாலினேஷனில். ஒரு ஒயிட் ரோஸு, ஒரு பிங்க் ரோஸு, ஒரு ஹைப்ரிட் வெரைட்டி. யூ கேனாட் சி அ ஹைப்ரிட் கலர், அது டபுள் கலர், அந்த மாதிரி மல்டி கலர் ஃப்ளவரே பார்க்க முடியாது. ஒரு கலர்னா ஒரே கலர். தட் இஸ் டிஸ்அட்வான்டேஜ் ஆஃப் செல்ஃப் பாலினேஷன். நெக்ஸ்ட் அட்வான்டேஜஸ் ஆஃப் த கிராஸ் பாலினேஷன் இஸ் bring about much healthier offsprings. Okay, இதில் பார்த்தோம்னா இட்ஸ் bring out healthier offsprings means the new plant is very healthier because of the cross pollination, because of the different genetic component is mixed here. Germination capacity is much better. Germination of the pollen and germination of the stigma, that is ovule, everything will be much better when compared to the self pollination. New varieties, different varieties will be formed because of the cross pollination. Because it is cross pollinated, the genetic component will be varied, so that genetic component will give a new varieties. And disadvantages of the cross pollination is, this is always depending on the external agencies for the pollination to the process uncertain. Yes, this pollination always depends for the abiotic and biotic agents. Under the abiotic agents, water, wind is needed, and biotic agents, it need always all those things like a beetle, bee, all ant, snail, all birds, everything, rats, bats, everything. Various devices have to adapt it to attract a pollinating agents. Yes, various devices it needs to adapt. Yes, it has to give the good color for the attraction of bird. It has to give the nectar for the attraction of the bees, and it has to give the fragrance. All those things it has to be, this flowers has to be adapted to attract the pollinating agent. That is one of the disadvantages of the cross pollination. At last I am coming to the significance of the pollination. Pollination is prerequisite process of the fertilization. Yes, next video I am going to take about the fertilization only. But where is the fertilization takes place? Only after the pollination. Whether it is a self pollination or the cross pollination, that is not a matter. The pollination is a prerequisite, that is prior process, before process. Okay, prior process for the fertilization, and it helps the formation of fruits and seeds. Okay, after the pollination only the fertilization is takes place. After the fertilization is fruits and seeds will be there. So these process will be takes by the helps by the this pollination significance. Next, cross pollination introduces variations in the plants due to the mixing up of the different genes. Yes, the cross pollination introduces, I already told you, in the cross pollination advantages, it is giving new varieties with the healthier offsprings with the much varieties. Okay, so that is given, but that is also one of the main significance. These variations helps the plants to adapt to the environment and result in the speciation. Yes, these variations of the plants is adapted. So suppose there is the green color rose is produced. That green color rose is produced by the cross pollination. So this green color variety of the plants has to be developed and adapt to the our particular environment, and it has become as a separate subspecies of the rose family, Rosaceae family. So the result in the speciation, how the speciation takes place, the separate green flower, green rose flower is going to be speciated in the environment by the cross pollination, by the variation. Thank you.